Hello, this is Tamika Caston-Miller, and I am here just wanting to talk to you a moment about yoga teacher training. I wanted to discuss with you ways for you to step into discernment around becoming a yoga teacher or to just deepen your yoga practice. First of all, yoga teacher trainings neither do they guarantee you an opportunity to teach yoga after, regardless to the lies that people will tell, nor do they guarantee that you will want to teach yoga afterwards. Oftentimes people are drawn to yoga teacher trainings just to deepen their practice. And this is a beautiful way to approach yoga teacher training. From my experience, the people who approached the training because they're like, I'm ready to teach yoga, I'm gonna go teach the yoga right now, they were people whose classes I didn't enjoy later. It was the people who were like, I don't know if I'm ready to teach yoga, but I'm willing to find out more and I really want to deepen my knowledge about yoga. Those people have led the most powerful yoga classes in my experience. So if you're considering a training, know that you can just take a training so that you get a deep and intimate knowledge and experience with yoga. To that end, there are certain things that really need to be considered if you're trying to decide whether or not to do a teacher training. The first thing is cost. You do not want cost to be the determining factor as to whether or not you take a training. So neither do you want it to be too cheap nor too expensive. You are not only getting an immersive experience in a training and information that is going to give you a formation for something that's really important, something you're dedicated to, but it is also a certification. And just like an MBA or a JD or any other license, it gives you a license that is going to give you access to a community to get you an actual teaching job. If it's too cheap, you're going to get what you're paying for. And if it's too expensive, you might just be buying a name. So it's not expensive is not necessarily giving you a great experience, and cheap is definitely not giving you a great experience. It's important for people to have people with whom they're sharing that yogic experience so that there are multiple types of bodies in a training. So a training really needs to have a diverse group of students so that you get the best experience possible. If you have students who've had injuries, who are full-figured, who are transgender, who are queer folks, who are people of color, these are people whose stories you may not know and whose experiences you may not have had, and they can give you insight for leading your class without coming from a perspective of privilege that would make your method of sharing yoga a privileged one and one that doesn't relate to a lot of people, or at worst, one that actually excludes people. So whenever I'm looking for teacher trainings, I'm also looking at the diversity of the people taking the training because, frankly, I'm not trying to be the only Black full-figured queer woman in a room. There's a place for being a token, and in a teacher training, that is not the place. And how do you know that? Look at the trainers. If the trainers all look the same, probably the people who are taking the training do too. Just an FYI. Another thing to consider is the lead teacher and how many people are teaching in your training. So if you're getting all of the knowledge from one person, I would be wary of that training. Why? Because it is very difficult for one person to house all of the knowledge on all of the yoga for a 200-hour training. There's a lot to learn. There is a lot to learn. A good training program is going to give you a lot of knowledge and hopefully seed a lot of questions so that you will continue being a lifelong learner. I am always very wary of trainings that only have one person, because I don't want to take from anyone who thinks they're a guru. And I also just don't believe that one person has all that knowledge. I don't care how long you've been doing the training or how many trainings you've done. I just think that's asking for a lot from one person. And so that's something to consider. Also, if that teacher trainer doesn't resonate with you as a teacher, so you've taken that person's classes, you have watched videos of that person teaching, and what you're getting, you're like, I mean, it's okay, but they kind of leave me wanting. That's not your trainer. That's not your trainer. A person whose training you want to take is someone who you connect with. And because the reality is that you're learning from a person. And so you need to learn how that person teaches. Otherwise, you won't learn anything and the training won't be successful for you. Another thing to consider is the lineage of yoga being taught. So, for example, let's say that you're a yin yoga practitioner and you're like, okay, I'm going to go take teacher training. This one is near me. It's in my price range. I can go do it. And they only teach hatha yoga. Well, that's great that you have some paper. You've got that 200-hour now. You can go teach yoga, but you didn't learn anything about the yoga that you actually practice. Now, yes, you expanded yourself, which is good. That's always good to expand yourself. But you didn't learn to teach what you love. So now you have to go immediately find another training and just to teach what you love. There's no reason to do that. There are trainings that are going to teach what you love. So for example, I'm associated with the studio and I love my studio and their training is amazing and it's only vinyasa. So if I hate vinyasa yoga, and why would I go take 200-hour training on how to teach vinyasa yoga? I don't care. I mean, there are so many other things that are going to be trained that are good, but all of those things that are going to be trained that are in the core curriculum of all reputable certified programs are going to be the same. They might go a little more deep, in one area than the other, but for the most part, there is a core curriculum that has to be followed, and a reputable training program is going to cover that. So what really matters is the lineage. And if you don't like the lineage, don't take that program. So that's something to be considered. Ask the question, what type of yoga will I be learning to teach? What type of yoga will we be practicing? These are really important questions to ask. So ask the question and skip it if it's not the right one. I guarantee that you will find the program that works for you. And lastly, timing. For you to take a 200-hour program or a 300-hour program, you really need to have the time. You need to have the space held for you so that you can take the program without worrying about other things. You don't want to be the person who has to drop out halfway through. You spent time and money and you haven't actually finished anything. And there's really nothing you can do at that point. It makes, more sense to just wait until the timing is right. So what I liked personally was to take a program that was part immersion and part breakout weekend session. And for me, that gave me the time to confirm with my partner, hey boo, can you hold space for me? Can you hold down the dogs? Can you hold down dinner? Because I am not going to have the time, energy, or bandwidth to come in and do all those things. Like, I cannot wife for 9 days. You got me? When that answer was yes, I knew that the timing was right for us as a family. And obviously this is easier if you don't have those things, and also with work, you know what? Asking you shall receive. I never thought I was going to be able to take 5 straight days off of work because I was an educator. But you know what? I asked the question and I said, this is important. It's important for me as a person and it's important for me as an employee. And I really need to take these days and I got them. So ask and ye shall receive. If you get the time off, you have the space being held for you. You have the money, or you're working out, you're like almost have the money. That program is for you. Take the program. So that is the type of program that I am also leading as a an immersion with breakout weekends. And with my program, I'm doing the immersion in Peru because Peru is just special. Peruvians understand indigenous knowledge, understand and appreciate energy, and my program depends on that. I do not believe in continuing the problematic nature of colonizing yoga and teaching everything from a Western perspective. I believe in digging deeper and speaking to yoga in as it relates to its original philosophy and the mythology. All of those things are really important to me. So I'm digging deep into that, into a place that continues to laud and appreciate its mythology, its indigenous heritage, and the energy of the place is amazing. With my particular program, it is focused on yin yoga and restorative yoga, energy, and meditation. That is what our focus will be while we are in Peru. That is the majority of what trainees will be learning. When I say energy, I mean how energy moves, how to protect your own energy, how to be an empath in this business and be able to deliver what you're trying to deliver without being without having to have such a large energetic exchange that you have nothing left for yourself. So protecting your own energy and things like that. And every person receives an energetic clearing and also learns more about energy in general. Meditation. Every trainee will learn how to guide yoga nidra. Every trainee will learn how to guide other types of meditation. These are really important and big things that people are really needing, especially as we move into a world that's getting more fragmented. These are ways to create compassion in the world. I'm not interested really in training people who just want paper. I'm interested in training people who want to help birth more compassion into the world, to help bring people back into healing with themselves. That is what I'm interested in. Notice that I didn't say I'm the healer. I know my role. I am simply someone who is helping people find themselves again through yoga and through sharing of this practice that has been so transformational for me. To that end, I am not alone. It's myself, Kim Pence, who's the energy healer, who will be on site with us in Peru, Sharzad Kakshani, who is my lead assistant, who is an incredible woman who is brilliant. She's my sister. And so all three of us are going to be helping to co-create an incredible paradigm shifting experience in Peru, as well as the guides and the ceremony leaders in Peru who the indigenous cultures who will be giving us those experiences and inviting us into that heritage. So all of those experiences will be in there as well. Then the breakout weekends will be guided by Davina Davidson, who will be guiding you to learn vinyasa. Amanda Field will be co-leading Hatha with me. And then Dr. Kiva Davis will be leading the anatomy and biomechanics. I have these people in place because they are amazing people. And because I know that we all are living in different bodies. We all have different experiences, different abilities. And it's very important for me to be able to create an experience that is inclusive and powerful, because I may only see you during this training. And so my goal is to impart as much as possible in this 200 hours so that you can walk away and feel that you can lead a powerful class, and know that you do not have all of the answers or all of the abilities, and to keep studying, because the 200 hours is just the beginning. So I hope that you will join me in this. And if it is not right for you, we will discern that together, and I will send you to who is. Thank you so much for considering and listening, and I hope to see you soon on the mat.